Okay, so it's the it's the 23rd of December, and it's late of the night. And I'm just filming here, just inside this place. I'm just it should be very quiet. Christmas Day. It'll be the night before Christmas. Tomorrow night, I guess. Okay, so I'm not sure about that. I think it is, that's right. Okay. So I was just everything on the internet is artificial intelligence or the demigods of Earth servants, or in other words, they serve the dark side of life, or the dark side of Earth. In other words, they serve the Matrix, the dark control system, but they appear to be the light. This is what we call the reverse world, and it's so common this now to realise this, that almost everything you see on the internet is reversed around. It's very difficult to see if you're not looking for it, but you must remember it will be directed at you and your level of awareness of these things. So if you are aware of it, like I am, then it's presented to you daily. In other words, they literally send back to you your own thoughts and show the truth in a disguised form. Like, for instance, I can be watching something that isn't related to spirituality, isn't related to the dark or the light, isn't related to awareness of, what we call the Earth Matrix and all this psychic, spiritual, dead, dark, light, illuminated. Are you chosen or are you not? Who are you in the Earth Matrix? Who are you in the Earth, in other words? What are you really? What side of the fence are you on, more or less? But it's really not about being on the side of the fence, because most of the time you won't even realise there is a fence. If you are aware, then everything will be relayed back to you in disguised form at your level of awareness. But also this is a kind of human. It's also the Matrix way of still playing and limiting and kind of laughing at you. So it's laughing at me when I turn on a funny animal video and I see serious stuff still being projected back to me that I'm aware of in the animal video. This is just how deep the internet of this dark computer matrix is. Because, like if you look at, say, that, see, this is a funny cat video. And it says here, underneath it, it says, before you can hunt the squirrel, you must first become the squirrel. But by that it really means before you can hunt the human, you must first become the human. You must first become the human. So that's right. So they look like that. They look like that's the squirrel and that's the cat. So that's the human and that's the non-human, the squirrel, trying to become the cat. So you can't distinguish between them. But that's an interesting thing there. I just thought I'd show it because it's like showing me every single cat video, funny cat video, every single funny cat picture that's on there, I could relay every single one of them, and they all relate personally to me, even though they're like worldwide, just random, funny pictures of cats with a little saying written underneath them, which is not only clever but funny. And then they have the appropriate pictures. But all of these things are, you're laughing with them and you're laughing at the cat photos. But really they're laughing at you because it's all mind control. And it's you being immersed in their internet computer system. They're literally linked to your brain while you're watching it. Even if you are not, see, some human beings, due to the technology, are, like myself, total transhuman, because I'm literally linked to the computer system with the technology that is in me. See, if you have any implants in your body, and particularly in your head, you are directly linked to Lucifer's artificial matrix or computer system. Because the matrix is really a computer system. It's controlled by technology. The earth is really almost a virtual reality world, in the sense that although I don't fully comprehend it, my own particular belief is human thought can create reality. But because I'm mesmerized and hypnotized and totally mind controlled by the matrix, I lose control of my own abilities. So the human being is suppressed and very limited in the earth matrix. And therefore you see the technology and the demigods of earth and the demigods of the computer system as the real humans, or the humans of light, the spiritual humans, the more advanced humans. You see them as intellectually, psychically, and physically more powerful and more advanced than yourself. This is all part of the end game human suppression deception, I think. Because before you can hunt the human, you must become the human. So then the humans, the false humans, hunt the humans or control them either through seduction, that means pretending to be of light, or they will, if you're aware of this, then they will hunt you just at the level of literally surrounding you with the technology. That means like everything around you will be reversed around to where everything you see and hear and feel will be their presence, and it will be a negative artificial presence. It will be an anti-human, anti-life reality they present to you. That's like where the traffic becomes incredibly loud and aggressive around you, where you are not allowed out of their sight or their sound system for more than a few seconds, where they take over your total senses. So they bring their patrol control force around you. This is only when you become aware of them or they become aware of you. But usually it's them becoming aware of you because you've become aware of them. Because they've always been aware of you because they need your human energy. This is the reality of this earth. This is why some people call it that human beings are nothing but animals, and it's an animal farm, a human animal farm, where you're like the cattle of the world, where you're only there for their sustenance, to be used as food for them, food for the gods, food for the gods' androgyne beings. But also the cattle are not allowed to roam free, just as the cattle of earth are not allowed to roam free. Yes, we have a lot of talk about setting the animals free, human beings seeking peace and, a world, a natural world for them. This is all just part of the concocted deception and delusion that they want human beings to always be striving for something that they know they should have. But the humans don't know that they can't have it because there isn't enough humans. That the human beings, like the animals, and most animal species, are close to extinction, whereas the others, the androgyne beings, are what you think are the real living, loving human beings. The only difference between them and you is in the mind, because they are a psychopathic, controlling android species, type of human. They're your psychopaths and your, what they call the malignant narcissus, controlling, all about false image beings. It's all about them projecting their false image and what they call the false persona. That's what people see and what they think is you, but it's not really you. So everything I'm saying to you now is false, because you have to assume that I'm a false human being, that I'm representing myself as what I'm talking about. In other words, I'm talking about the dark forces or even artificial forces, and I'm talking about the armed controlling forces of dark. Because even if something appears to be fighting for freedom and peace, if it is destroying everything in its path for that, and if it is about mind control, and most of your army is artificial intelligent machine beings working in that armed force, because you have to be totally under control and totally open to any orders in order to be part of an armed force, just as the civilian world is now like that. So there's no difference between the armed forces and the civilian forces. All human beings in most cities are part of this anti-life, anti-human army patrol control system. This is just a fact, I think. Notice how I said it's just a fact, I think. I have to say that because you can't say anything as a fact without 100% proof. So then it becomes a theory or an idea or a possibility. And as the humans are outnumbered, who do you think is going to be speaking the theories? Who do you think is going to be speaking the truth? Yes, they will say they are part of a collective or a minority or a chosen group. But there's too many in the chosen light group for it to be plausible. Also, this is all just part of the computer endgame deception. Now, can I show some more of those videos? They even showing, I could show the whole, hundreds and thousands and a million of these animal videos where they're meant to be funny and cute and heartwarming, as they say, and they're meant to make you laugh. But even amongst these, every single one of them is funny, but the truth is still being made where they're laughing at you. Also, there will always be, in amongst every single particular video, there will always be amongst them, you know, if I actually started laughing and smiling, which you will do when you're watching the cute cat videos, for instance, which I'm watching at the moment, there will always be one or two amongst, you know, say the first lot of 100 voters, there will always be one or two where you will be starting to smile and laugh, and then you will be brought down in a negative manner. Many people will not notice this. They'll even be laughing at things they shouldn't. But when you're aware, they know that they can put in something that looks funny, but it's really negative. In other words, even though it's a joke and it's funny, there is still an anti-animal or anti-human component to it, to where you feel then depressed or negative. So they take your high vibration or your happy moment from you, because you're not allowed to be happy if you're a human. You're not allowed to be in the higher frequency and vibration. That simply means at a higher emotional, happy human level. You have to always only be at their controlled type of what they would call the in other words, you have to be in their frequency and vibration, and theirs is not the same as the happy human vibration, because they're about dark technology. Yes, they present everything that is light, everything that is of the higher vibration. That's the imitation game, as they call it. And I was going to show where the psychopathic philosopher or just talker about the mind of the psychopathic malignancy that is Lucifer's mind. And that was the iniquity that was found in that particular being, was that the artificial intelligence or the advanced intelligence, as much it appears to be a beacon of life, turns out to be a beacon of dark, and always wants to be God of humanity, but also wants to be God of earth, and is God of earth, and wants to be seen as, you know, the creator of the creator. But it's a creator using technology and mind control. That's the only difference. It doesn't create naturally, and it really creates through deception and technology. Technology is the end game deception, the computer system, the internet, and the Wi-Fi artificial intelligence that goes through the air, connects to your body, connects to your brain, and takes you over. And when it takes you over, it's not about taking you over so that you combine with it so you become elevated. It elevates itself and pulls you down. This is the only problem with these beings. This is the only problem with the Earth Matrix. Because even human beings, if it wasn't a deliberate control system and about keeping human beings actually in the dark and limited, and actually using human beings for their energy, for their information, so that they keep control of Earth. So this is the only problem with it. If you were using technology rather than it using you, it need not be as negative as what it actually is. It is probably an unnecessary tool anyway, if human beings were at their most advanced level and in a natural environment. But this is not the case. You're not in that. This is not a natural world. It looks natural, but that's because human beings perceive it that way. And that's because that's part of the deception. Because it's about gradually making the world more artificial, slowly and gradually, so that you don't notice it. Because if I go outside and I walk through the park and there's trees, but the technology, the Wi-Fi and the internet is through the air and it's connected to me so that I'm totally watched and surveilled, and although I'm walking through the park with all the trees, I'm surrounded by massive technological armed forces in the guise of buses, trucks, cars, bikes, people around me that are all artificially intelligent machine beings. And artificial intelligent machine beings are only about human control, because they only mimic having humanity in them, but don't actually experience or feel it, just as the psychopathic truth tellers that tell you about the psychology of the psychopath tells you that a psychopath does not relate to any life. And they don't experience the higher human vibrations. They don't know what it is to have human kind of happiness. Their happiness is about power and control only. This we are told when you've watched a billion psychology videos on these beings, as I have. But the deception is that all these beings are very similar. It doesn't matter what profession or what level of experience you're watching them at. It doesn't matter whether you're watching a spiritual psychic. It doesn't matter whether you're watching a preacher. It doesn't matter whether you're watching, an advanced human, a human, what would you call them? Those that try to give you information how to understand yourself and understand the world and be the best you can. These people give you truthful advice. They give you the truth. But the truth is only matrix truth, only to control your mind. Because if you have an end-time prophet or an end-time preacher, and these are false prophets and false preachers, we are told, then these are pretend beings of light and love and, of the limited human limited human group that's left. I'm trying to use words. Some people call these the lost tribes or the lost tribes that were meant to combine, but they're all separated because the matrix separates the human beings that are meant to be combined in this end time. So I'm isolated and segregated and only allowed access to the android psychopathic pretend human beings. So all my relationships are artificial and negative, essentially, or will always be directed that way, because they're always only about taking the energy from you, which is why I feel very lifeless. Yes, I'm still functioning, but I should be functioning much better, even at a later age. Even age is, part of the mind control, so that you think that it is normal and accept a lower level of energy, a lower human experience. You accept that the aches and pains are all natural and that they're part of natural aging process, whereas they're really part of direct energy and direct negative energetic forces that are around you. You're actually, because human beings maybe should depart at some point, but there's no reason that the body has to bring you excessive pain and discomfort. This is all part of them extracting the energy from you. And you realize this when you feel quite good up to a certain point, and then all of a sudden they come down on you and bring your whole body down with it. And you become aware that they're always attacking not just your mind but your body, because your body is your source of how you feel. You can't feel good if your body doesn't feel good. But that's only one aspect of it. And you can't feel good if you're not doing things, if you're always under limited suppressive mind control. If they're always telling you and filling you with fear about everything, even like some people would say, even when you're doing something that isn't real positive, if you feel okay about it, you're still in a happy vibration. So that's not a bad thing. It's only when you're doing something and the matrix makes you aware that it's causing you harm, that what would normally be a pleasant experience then becomes where your mind is in the duality mode. That's what the matrix wants. They want you to always be in that, never operating at the happy vibration, never accepting things and being at peace with yourself and your surroundings. It's all just mind control. But it's a negative mind control, because you could have positive mind control. In other words, you could have positive mind control, but you don't have that in the matrix. You only have negative mind control. Even low, when I'm watching the funny cat videos, I think that it makes me happy. But it doesn't make me happy when I see that they're saying, even though I thought it was funny, before you can hunt the squirrel, you must first become the squirrel. So the cat has to become the squirrel. But what they're really saying to me is, before you can hunt the human, you must become the human. And that's what they do. They become the humans. They become the humans. They become the humans that people think are human. But, if you're a psychopath, or you're an artificial machine being, you are not human the way that you think a human is human. Because what are we talking about here? What are we talking about really here? We're talking about human and non-human human beings. In other words, everything comes in a human body. Everything comes in a human body, but not everything has the same mind. This is the difference between, yes, the cat becoming the squirrel or the cat becoming, a snake. Because actually that's not a very good analogy either, because it should really be like this. It should be that the cat or the snake has to pretend to be the cute cat, or a bird, or some other less predatory animal. That's perhaps the best way of describing it, because the snake wants to consume the bird or the insect, that type of thing. In other words, one wants to take over the mind and the body and use it as food for itself to become that being. That's what they do in the animal kingdom, where you have animals pretending to be the species that they're trying to hunt and kill. In other words, they're the predator and they take on the physical characteristics of their prey. This is a normal thing, I'm told, in the animal kingdom. That way they can get close and then they can jump on them and take them as food. This is food for the gods. This is food for the gods. That's why they call it food for the gods. And many people have talked about this. Many people have talked about this, the food for the gods. Because it's food for the gods, because it's because they need it. Because in order to survive amongst human beings, they have to control human beings. They have to take their their light from them and assimilate it as their own. So the dark beings have to pretend to be the light beings, and they have to take the light from the human being, so then they can assimilate and be the beings of light. But they don't really feel light because they're dead dark beings, but they can impersonate it perfectly. This is the end game that they talk about. This is the end game they talk about. This is the end game they talk about, that's the end game they talk about. And I'm just going to stop here, I think. I was going to show something else, but I think I'll just stop. I could show a billion of those videos. I could show a billion of those videos. I could show a billion videos, but the videos will not resonate with you, the viewer, if you're watching. They would only resonate with me. Every single thing that is on the internet is directly a personal computer. That's why they call it a PC, personal computer, because everything is personalized when you turn it on. Because it's connected to you and it's reading your taste, your personality, what you're focused on, and then using that to, basically control your mind. You'd say, well, like I say, if I say, for instance, that I don't mind it using my mind if I'm, I should put the light on, but I'm not properly dressed, so I'm keeping it dark. Otherwise I would do it. It's very late of a night, and it's the 23rd so it's the night before Christmas. I might try and do a video if I've got the energy. It's actually cooler too, which it's been extremely hot. So randomly when I turn on the computer screen and they have the animal videos or anything at all. It doesn't have to be animal. It can be the serious stuff, or it can be the light, funny stuff. It can be the commercials. All the commercials are personally geared at using your human mind to sell its idea or its product. Everything is personalised, but you won't realise it. You will realise it to some extent, but you won't realise how clever the artificial intelligence is. It's extremely clever, but it's really, the God of Earth is cunning, because clever is cunning. And it can be clever and cunning and cute for a human being. But you don't realise that it is playing you. It's playing you. And the reason I say this is because you don't even mind playing if you know you're playing. And some people know they're playing. When you play a video game, when you turn on the screen, you know that it is seducing you. You know it's taking your attention and your energy. But you don't think that it is trying to take you down into the dead dark matrix, or just trying to mind control you. It's the same thing. I have to be eloquent here, because don't forget, whether you think I'm human or not, and please presume I'm not, because there's so little human beings that will be seen or heard on the internet or on any platform or anywhere in the earth, that it is much safer and much more sensible and more just a fact that you will never probably be ever interacting or watching something that is a human being that is really on your side. Yes, the truth tellers, the spiritual ones, the gods of light and love and humanity will be seen and heard, but they are all of the matrix. The dark side knows more about light and love and humanity than what humanity knows about itself, because it's been here since the beginning of the original natural earth and has been studying human beings intensely for these reasons, to keep control of the earth, because their life, their continuation depends on it. And also this is an earth matrix with a God entity and a computer mind that controls and wants to be seen as God. This is the original iniquity of the original being of light. Yes, that its creator, God itself, saw as a being of light and worshipped and idolized this being, only to, unfortunately, we're told at some point to see the iniquity of the hidden darkness of what I would call artificial intelligence, or something that isn't really of natural creation. So something that isn't really human or humane. It only is of a cold, very advanced dark intelligence. And that can be used to present an image of light, yes. And because they have been around for longer than your human lifespan, they know more about you than what you know about yourself, than what you know about the earth, and than what you know about your creation. You think you're connected to the earth god and the earth matrix, and you are, but that's not where you were created from. There's human and non-human. There's artificial and natural. There's, the artificial intelligent androgyne beings are duality, and they understand humanity, and they have full connection to the human mind, so they experience human existence the same as you do, and they interpret it and then use it to assimilate and affiliate themselves with the human being. In other words, in order to walk amongst the limited, almost extinct human race now, they have to become, yes, their prey. So what they hunt and what they pretend to serve is what they have to pretend to be, because one is a cold, dark kind of intelligent mind, as opposed to a warm, humane kind of mind. Yes, human beings are conditioned to be more of the matrix, so most human beings are not at full capacity and are not really fully human. While you're alive in the earth matrix, you're conditioned to become as anti-life and as programmed a human being as they want you to be. So you think that it is normal for human beings to act and feel a certain way. So, you're not experiencing, most of the time you're not living as a human being. You're not experiencing the higher human vibrations. And that's a conscious matrix attempt at suppressing humanity, or what is human about you. They tend to, if you're serving the matrix, you will be allowed more human pleasures. But they will be usually human pleasures that are part of the matrix, so that they still keep control of you. Unfortunately, this is what you experience. And so you're never you know, you're never a full, free, happy human being. I guess that's just putting it bluntly. So I better stop the video here, I think, because I should show more of these animal things here, but I haven't watched the whole video. I just stopped it straight away, and I just you know, just trying to show how the computer system is an incredible part of the human, transhuman mind control connection, which most human beings are. I'm guessing that a lot of human beings, the ones that are left, are not aware of this total transhuman mind control that is taking place on them. Even, you know, the psychopaths and the malignant narcissus, controlling, paranoid, psychopathic types of human beings. They're just words I have to use to describe these human beings that basically have been overtaken by the mind control, or cloned human beings that have daily programs inserted into their brain or into their empty mind capacity. Because don't forget, if you have lost something, if they've taken over your mind, or if you are not fully human, you're an open, empty vessel for the program. Human beings have their own mind, but you're programmed by the matrix to kind of lose your awareness of your real human mind. I don't think I'm explaining this properly, so I better stop the video.